People are surprised to hear this, but when I was a kid, I wasn't this dominating, take-your-breath-away pitcher. I wasn't one of those phenoms you see who wow everybody at an early age by striking out 17, 18 guys a game and throwing no-hitters every other start. I can assure you that no one was calling me the Ryan Express way back then. In fact, I didn't really throw any harder than other kids my age. I could always throw a ball farther than most, but not harder. Then I had this growth spurt during my sophomore year of high school, and all of a sudden, it was like I had been struck by a lightning bolt. It was like someone had screwed a new right arm into my shoulder socket, and the baseball started coming out of my hand like a rocket being launched. I must have picked up a good 20, 30 miles per hour on my fastball. I certainly didn't have an explanation for this other than the growth spurt, and being blessed. I felt like I'd been given a gift. I tried out for the varsity team at Alvin, Texas High School, my sophomore year, just hoping to make the team, and I wound up becoming our number 2 guy behind a senior pitcher, who was a very accomplished high school player. I was pretty wild in those days. I was still learning how to harness my gift, and it would be several years into my big league career before I finally got a handle on it and started making that transformation from thrower to pitcher. Like millions of other boys growing up in the 1950s, early 60s, I followed Mickey Mantle and the Yankees. I also took a liking to Hank Aaron and those Milwaukee Braves World Series teams in '57 and '58. After I started to become really interested in pitching and started being able to throw hard, I gravitated toward Sandy Koufax. He became my favorite player because he was the most dominating pitcher of that time, maybe even of any time. I was just thrilled to see what he was accomplishing, and maybe, in the back of my mind, I was dreaming a little that one day that could be me. My high school coach at Alvin was a guy named Jim Watson, who also was the school's football coach. Football was his true passion, but he worked hard at learning as much as he could about baseball. He made sure we were in great physical condition, and he preached toughness. He also taught us how to play the game the right way, and how to respect the game. Always hustle. Always be thinking about what you are supposed to be doing next, whether you are on the mound, at the plate, or in the field. That's the stuff I learned from him. Alvin was a pretty small town, tucked away in a rural region about 20 miles southeast of Houston. There were a lot of ranches in the area, a lot of good, hard-working people. It was a great place to grow up, and I continued to make it my home, even after I made it to the big leagues, because I felt very comfortable there, and my wife Ruth and I thought it would be a great place to raise our family. I was the 6th and final child of Lynn Nolan Ryan Sr. and Martha Lee Hancock Ryan. Everybody knows me as Nolan, but I actually was named after my father, so my real first name is Lynn. You can stump a lot of people with that trivia question. I grew up doing things that most kids from that era and that area did. We played cowboys and Indians, climbed trees, and played whatever sport was in season. Football in the fall, basketball in the winter, and baseball in the spring and summer. I would tag along with my older brother and his friends when they went to play pickup games at the ball diamond at a nearby school. They would stick me in right field, or whatever position they needed me to fill. Those games against the older boys obviously had an impact on me, as far as sports were concerned. In those days, TV was just becoming popular, but there weren't sports on 24/7 the way there is today. So basically, your exposure to sports was either through participation on the local level or what you read in the newspapers. Through the years, much has been made about my work ethic, and when I look back, I owe a lot of that to my parents, especially my dad. He worked full-time as a supervisor for the old Stanton Oil Company. In addition to my older brother, I had 4 sisters, and to put them through college, my dad took on an extra job, delivering the Houston Post newspaper in Alvin and the rural areas beyond. His distribution route was about 45 miles long, and he had 1,500 customers. It took a good 4 hours to complete each delivery, even longer if the weather was bad. And
to keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.